Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Football United TV. Thanks for subscribing and tuning in recently. We got special guests right on now to talk about Man United's result against West Brom yesterday. We got Unofficial Pundit, we got Bitz N Bobz, and we got Indiana. How you guys doing?
Yeah, good, Matt, man. Thanks for having me, bro. Appreciate it. Looking forward to this, man.
Everyone else, you all cool?
Yeah, good. No, thanks for having me on.
No worries. So, 1-0 against West Brom. I mean, another penalty win for us as well. A lot of stick from fans saying, yet again, Penandes, that sort of thing. And we did miss the first penalty, didn't we? We were lucky to have the keeper jump off his line there. Start with you, Unofficial Pundit, mate. What do you make of this result for us and then going into the Champions League midweek?
I don't know where to start. For me, it was terrible. And the reason why I say it was terrible is you can beat West Brom 1-0 penalty or a goal from open play and come away from the game and go, do you know what? Disappointed we didn't get more goals. But let's be honest, on another day, that would have been 5 or 6. I come away from that game bored. If it wasn't Man United, I would have changed the channel. Let's be honest. If it wasn't Manchester United, you would have changed the channel. You wouldn't have carried on watching. I can't stand golf. I'd have probably watched golf over that. Honestly, that's the honest truth. No matter how you look at it. And I'm very, very biased. If you guys go through my tweets, especially when I first started, I'm so biased. But that was a stone wall penalty to West Brom. Stone wall.
100%.
Stone wall. Do you agree, Bobby?
Yeah,
that was a stone wall penalty. And had West Brom scored that goal, we wouldn't be getting 3 points. We would have maybe got a point if we was really, really lucky. For me to come away from a game and say we cheated West Brom today at home is an embarrassment. It's got to the point now where I can't come away from that and think we're moving in the right direction. I can't. When we went on that little run where we were doing okay, I know we drew with Chelsea, but we was better than Chelsea that day. I thought their goalkeeper had to do a lot more. Had we beat Arsenal or drew with Arsenal but played better and then gone and beat Istanbul, and then we've done this and we was playing really well, I could say, okay, do you know what? It's a bad day in the office. It was a bad day. This wasn't a bad day. This is Manchester United. We saw it last season when we all got gassed and Bruno Fernandes is like Cantona for us now and we're back. Man United are going to do it. FC Copenhagen took us to extra time. We won on a penalty. And then Sevilla beat us. Even though we went ahead. It's just, for me, it's like same old Manchester United at the moment. Inconsistent. You don't know who's going to turn up. And for me, we win games through individual brilliance, not through team play. And that's the honest truth. And
that's the main point in this.
Other guys can say something. But for me, the defence gets the blame so much. But I don't feel defence is our problem. All defences concede goals. Look at every defence around the world at the moment. Liverpool was conceding goals galore. And this was before Van Dijk got injured. Real Madrid's defence, they're meant to be one of the best defences in the world. Terrible. Barcelona's defence, terrible. I watched the Bayern Munich-Dortmund game. I know Dortmund scored goals. Bayern Munich's defence was all over the place. All over the place. And they didn't even win yesterday. PSG, their defence ain't great. City are crap. What defence can you look at there at the moment and say, that's how Manchester United's defence should be? None.
There's a reason for that, though. There's a reason for that. I have a theory about this. 3 months of lockdown. As a football player, what positions can you practice and train on your own? As a striker, as finishing.
Yeah.
All these players have got goals in their gardens. They're all sharp. You look at English attackers right now, especially. Look at Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Tammy Abraham, all these players. Mikel Antonio, before he got injured. They've spent 3 months in their garden sharpening up.
Yeah.
Defence is a unit.
Yep.
I think that's what's happened, if I'm honest. I think that the attackers are just sharper, apart from Man United's. Like, Martial, for me, yesterday, the guy's got a problem right now, a confidence problem. He stood on his heels the whole game. Cavani showed what sharpness is when he came on. Like, he's flicking the balls on. He's putting the balls in places where he would run, where he's expecting other players to be. There's a bit of play where Cavani's in the box and he's knocked the ball back to Martial, expecting him to run on. So he's knocked the ball into space and Martial stood on his heels. And Cavani's put his arms up like, what are you doing? We've got, I think there's a massive gulf in football intelligence in Manchester United. A huge, like you look at Fred, dilly-dally Fred, past the poor decisions. You got Scott McTominay. Like, for strikers, is an instinct. It's instinctive movement, instinctive finishing. And that's the same for fast passages of play. You look at Fred, he wants time on the ball. Sometimes he can make those passes, but these are decisions. These are choices that players make, individuals. I think the balance is wrong in the side. We could do with that right winger. We needed a DM for the last probably 10 years, since Michael Carrick was getting on with it. I think our last one was probably like actual DM was Hargreaves, like world-class one.
And we played him on the right sometimes as well.
Yeah, I agree, but I agree. The defense isn't the problem. If you can't hold on to the ball, make simple passes, run off the ball, it's a massive, massive problem. I think Martial and Rashford, they're both very selfish in the way that they play. They could move a lot more. Martial's hold-up play has improved, but I just feel that this is Manchester United. I'm in my early 30s. I'm used to a certain standard of player. Like when I think about strikers at Manchester United, Martial doesn't fit that for me as a number 9. Rashford doesn't fit that as a number 9. He doesn't. Like, people are moaning about the finishes. We know they're not clinical finishers. This is not news. Like, our 2 best finishers at the club are Greenwood and Cavani. That's a fact. Like, don't be surprised when these guys miss chances. You watch Martial, he'd rather hold back in the box than he would attack the keeper or the posts. That's a fact. That's just the way he is. These are things that can't be coached. He might do it once, but he'll only make that run once, and then he'll go to feet. So you've got to think about where these balls can go. Like, if I as a football player myself, if I played in the number 10 role, am I going to be putting those balls over the top, knowing that the striker's not going to make that run? No, you're not. You're just not going to do it. Look at Aaron Wan-Bissaka. They won't pass him the ball. They know he's going to lose it.
Can I ask you?
Tellers was confused. He didn't know what to do yesterday. Yeah, go on.
Quick question. I hear what you're saying. With Rashford, I don't agree at all. Maybe just because I'm the biggest Rashford fan out there, possibly. With Rashford, why I don't agree is I think he's a wide forward. But when he's had to play as a number 9 for us, like when he played against Leicester that time, when I can show you the team, probably the worst team we had out there.
Yeah.
And he won us the game. He won the penalty, scored the goal. Might not be his best day, but he carried us. Against Newcastle, when we had no strikers, Rashford got 2 assists and a goal. It was fantastic. So, but really, he's a wide forward.
Yeah.
Wide forwards, who are up there at the moment? Son, Mane.
But then, Unofficial Pundit, listen, check this out. And I heard everything what you both say. And do you know what? I actually agree with you both, to be honest. And it's interesting, and I think it's because, Diana, you touched on it. We are in our early 30s, like we're older Man United fans. So we've all grown up on winning, right? And being dominant. If not winning, dominant, successful, competing, right? And when you look at the current crop now, and we talked about lockdown, beggars do believe. You have to wonder, what were the coaches doing? Like, were you not identifying weaknesses where we should try and make stronger? DM, let's be honest, we've been crying out for a centre-back and a DM and a right winger. We've been needing a right winger since Ronaldo left. Let's be serious, okay? But as we do, papering over cracks. And do you know, Indiana, you said something about Rashford and Martial. They're not number 9s. For Monaco, Martial played left wing. Through the youth ranks, Rashford was playing right wing and left wing. For some reason, Ollie thought I could convert them into number 9s. This is not under 10s football where you put the biggest boy in the team up front or the fastest boy in the team up front. This is elite professional football.
But Bobz,
And
I
there's
don't
a
think that was a
reason.
choice. I don't think that was a choice. What's his other
No.
option?
No, I get that.
That's
but
the
my
point.
is
The
that,
point I'm trying to make is that we
Yeah.
don't have the right balance in the squad.
yes.
We're buying
Ole definitely had a
depth.
choice. Ole definitely had a choice. Number one, why he had a choice was he had Lukaku.
Thank you. That's what I was going to get to.
And the issue for me here is I love Martial. He's actually my favourite player, even though I've started to love Rashford because I think the point I was going to make with Rashford is he's a wide forward. He's just turned 23. Some of the best wide forwards at the moment. Where were they at 23? Mane, no one knew who he was at 23. Salah, no one knew who he was at 23. Son, who's doing it for Spurs at the moment, was playing for Tottenham at 23, but was doing nothing. That's why they were winning nothing. So I think a lot's put on Rashford. Every time Rashford scores, we genuinely win. You can't expect him to score every time.
I agree. That's not what I'm saying.
With Martial, why I get frustrated is I love Martial. I don't think he's a winger because Martial doesn't want to put a cross in. Doesn't want to put a cross in.
No.
The 5 seasons he's been at Man United, his 2 best seasons has been when he's a number 9. But the problem with me with Martial is, and I'm starting to grow it more and more, so I said I love him, but there's that anger isn't there. Sometimes when you can't break down a team, so when you see Scholes and Rio and all that, they
someone, show the bar someone, right?
They show that they didn't make the run so we could play a ball over the top. But most of the time when you're going to play West Brom, there is no ball over the top because you're going to pin them back. So sometimes you just want Martial to pick up the ball at the edge of the box, bully his way through a couple of defenders.
Thank you, brother.
Or smash the ball. We all know Martial can finesse it. Like if you're playing FIFA and you bend it in the top corner, we all know you can do that. No, I want to see you put your laces through it because it's in the 70th minute and we can't break down this team. We've huffed, we've puffed. You've picked up the ball, spun and just walloped it. It's gone into the top corner. Something that you would, as much as I hate to see it, something you would see Aguero do. Sometimes there've been games where City cannot break down that other team. All of a sudden, Aguero's spun. He dropped the shoulder
against Chelsea.
But that's where I question him. That's exactly where I question him.
Martial, I totally understand. Martial, I totally understand.
Rashford, I agree with you as a wide player. I love him. I absolutely love him. There are times when I think he can improve his game, of course, but he's still young, and I think he will. For me, Rashford's got a much higher ceiling than Martial. Because Martial, because with Martial, like, don't get me wrong, skill level, Martial is far superior. But when it comes to decision making, everything we just spoken about is decision making, desire. Like that's natural instincts. You've got to want that. That can't be coached. It's impossible to coach desire. I'm sorry, that comes from the player. These are player decisions. And that's where I question him as a striker. I question him as a Manchester United striker there. But ability-wise, he can do it. You're talking about taking shots. His movement.
He definitely got the skill. He just doesn't have that. It's like when I watched Leicester against Man City. Vardy won penalty after penalty against them.
Bro, it's the one, isn't it? It's the one. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, want to get there because it's like, do you know what? Rooney had it. We all know Rooney, that team Rooney was in, technically wise, he wasn't the best, but he wasn't the worst. But what he made up for was the work rate and the want and the desire and the passion. And, you know, like, Rooney would stick his head in it. Do you know what I mean? Like, Rooney would, like, if he's coming against a 6+ defender, he'd push them, shove them. Like, do you know what I'm trying to say to you? Like you said, right? Huff and puff. Do something different. Do you know what I mean? It's like in Scotland, yeah, right? When we play football, right? We have this thing where we come across fit and young boys that play kick about, yeah? So the manager's like, all right, today, lads, football's out the window. We're going to bully these people. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? You leave a late one on them. You shoulder barge. You fight and you go to war to win. Remember Roy Keane? Roy Keane done everything. This is just to win a game of football. Do you know what I'm trying to say to you?
I'll say Bitz N Bobz. Like, do you think in the midfield we're missing that sort of role as well? Like,
massively.
And Herrera tried to do it. I think he was the only sort of player since like Scholes and Roy Keane that tried to do that sort of job where he was like, you know, going in, like tackling when you shouldn't really be putting in. But you needed to show the other team that you're kicking them up in the air and that.
But I feel a lot of this. I've supported Ole from the start. Anyone can go on my Twitter, my Instagram. But for me now, a lot of it's falling on Ole as well. Don't get me wrong. I think with the board we've got, we're not going anywhere.
I know, but the board doesn't coach the players, though.
And no matter how much you look at, I know what you're saying, but no matter how much you look at it, you've got, and we know Luke Shaw gets injured quite a bit. So the Alex Tellers, I can understand that in one sense, yeah. But you've got Luke Shaw, and you've just given Brandon Williams a new contract, and Brandon Williams wasn't as bad as everyone was making out when he first
doesn't make sense, does it?
When Brandon Williams first came in, it was United fans. This is where United fans and Arsenal fans banter themselves. He's also become the best left back in the world. Then, when things haven't gone right and near the end of the season, we're not scoring goals, Brandon Williams becomes the brunt of the problem because certain people don't want to pick on Martial, certain people don't want to pick on Rashford, certain people don't want to pick on Bruno, certain people don't want to pick on Greenwood. So they go, okay, where's the weak wing? Where's the weak link? Oh, this little blonde kid who hasn't been playing much, just pick on him. Now, for me, Brandon Williams isn't meant to be getting the ball off their attacker, beating four men, whipping in a cross, and we score a goal, and that's how we're going to win our games.
Thank you. 100%.
Was Alex Tellez desperately needed? No, in my opinion. He was good yesterday, but he didn't do anything yesterday that made me think, oh my God, we signed.
He was confused yesterday.
He did.
He was confused.
Like I think he didn't know what to do when he was going forward. And what I think was, when he went forward, no one was, like, there was no support, no phase of play. Did you notice that?
You know what? At one point, I looked at my brother and my cousin. I watched every game with them. And you know, fans used to moan, oh, look at Shaw, he's fat. He don't bomb forward. One point, Alex Tellers got the ball. If this was for Porto, he flies 100 miles an hour. He gets the ball. He's got 80 to 1 inch and he slows down. That's not because he's bad. That's because he looked at him and thought, if I go 100 miles an hour, I'm going to get to the box and no one's going to be there. So I've got to beat everyone. And I think he just thought, okay, I better slow this down because we've got nothing ahead of us. There's nothing going on ahead of us. And that's where, was he really needed desperately? No. In my opinion, no. I don't think he was. That wasn't our main signing. If he was one of the signings, yes. Why I say we can't go anywhere with this board either is Donny van der Beek, for me, was definitely not an Ole signing. I've said every signing was Ole signing. No, he wasn't. Because he's not in his plans at all. He's not in his plans at all. You would have thought if Pogba ain't playing, Donny would be coming in at least. Pogba wasn't even there. You're saying Donny's still not coming. Matic is ahead of him. From me, and at home against West Brom, this is a perfect chance to go, I'm going to sit Fred, and I'm going to play Donny and Bruno, see how this works. If it don't work, I'll switch it up. But Donny wasn't, and Donny wasn't needed. He's a number 10, really. We've got Bruno and Pogba to play that, and we've got Mata to play that. We didn't need another number 10. Again, we got into the Champions League. All it's been about is Man United need to get back into the Champions League to sign those marquee signings. Our marquee signing was a 33-year-old who will be 34 in February, who was behind Choupo-Moting at PSG. We've not signed him, and he was top goal scorer like when we signed Zlatan. When we signed Zlatan for PSG, he was their top goal scorer, and he was leaving there because he wanted a new challenge.
Still buying those now.
Well, no, they wanted to keep him. They tried everything to keep him on a 2-year deal, but they've got massive financial problems. So they couldn't keep him on the wage structure.
The only reason why they wanted to keep Cavani is because they can't go out and sign no players. He was if he was there now, he would still be behind most of their strikers there. So for me, no matter how much you like him, he's a has-been. He's done. You're not going to get anything new from him.
I don't think he's a has-been. I don't think he's the player we should have bought. I still think he's got the best movement of any striker in the world. His movement's outstanding. But the player we should have bought was Icardi. For me, I love Icardi. He's one of my favourite strikers. I wanted him 4 or 5 seasons ago.
Again, I don't mind the Cavani signing if we had gone. Again, I don't think we needed Icardi. Icardi for me blows very hot and cold, but I can understand why you're saying it. My brother loves Icardi. So, but was Icardi the one needed? Because you're still not fixing the right. The two main positions we needed this summer was a DM if Ole doesn't feel that Matic, Fred or McTominay are good enough to sit there on their own. If you don't feel them three are good enough to sit there on their own, then you need a DM. Really important. The next signing had to be, because if we signed Cavani but we signed Sancho, I would be happy about the Cavani signing.
Because it makes sense.
Yes, but when Cavani's your marquee signing, that can't make sense to me. He's your marquee signing. This is a man fourth in line at PSG last season. He cannot be Manchester United's marquee signing. We made a mockery of ourselves by not signing anyone, only Donny van der Beek. When this Premier League season started, we was a laughing stock across the whole of the Premier League.
Yeah.
I have a theory about this, though. So the people who own the club and people on the board, what are they? What do they do? What do they work in? Businessmen, finance.
Yeah.
So and trust me, nobody is more against the Glazers and Woodward than me. Trust me. My theory, though, is the COVID financial effect and why they didn't go out in the market and do this. I don't think Sancho is worth 120 million.
No,
I don't think he is. The people talk about Haaland. You don't want to be stuck on a 50 mil buyout clause. That's ridiculous.
No way.
So if we still have the money, but we can see how the financials are going for clubs right now through this COVID market. And I don't trust these board members or owners to do anything. Believe me.
Mm.
But if they are looking at it as actually we can pick up players cheaper in the January or next summer, I don't have a problem with us doing a bad window. What I do have a problem with, not the players we brought in. I do have a problem with Donny coming in, actually. What I do have a problem is the way we went about the deals. I have a problem with Woodward telling Ollie and the players Sancho is still coming and then finding out on the Saturday that he's not. I have a problem with us not buying. This isn't under Ollie. This is under every manager. There is not one single manager who has been backed. Why do you think they've got to play Fred and McTominay in centre midfield, like together as a partnership? We've got 5 attacking midfielders, quick forwards. If we had anybody who could play that single pivot, they would do it. I disagree. That's not. No, he hasn't got a choice. What's he going to do?
Why I say that's down to the manager is you're West Brom at home. Honestly, if you can't play one DM because they're playing one striker up front.
Exactly.
So Maguire and Lindelof should not be troubled by one striker up front. If they are, they both need to go then. And I like both of them.
Yeah.
Need to go. And you only need. This is West Brom at home. We're not playing Barcelona away. This was West Brom at home. There only one player needed to sit there for me. And as much as you say, and I agree with you, I totally agree with you. Sancho's not worth 120 million, but in this market, yes, he is. Because look at that. Haller was bought for 45 million pounds. Havertz, 80 million pounds. Look at what players are getting bought for now. Jadon Sancho is 19 years of age. You're getting, if he keeps hitting the expectations he's meant to, you're going to have a player.
You say that, but look at Jota and Ziyech.
Who's only going to get better and better and better. That's why you're paying that kind of money. And also because you're Manchester United and you're shit. End of story. You're doing shit. So you've got the money. You're going to have to come in and pay more money. That's just the way it is.
I agree.
It's going to be more pricey.
Just to answer Matt's question, guys. Sorry, Matt. Regarding the DM that you asked about, if we need it. Do you know? For me, is when you look at other teams, the big 6, you can recognise who the one DM is. Højbjerg was 15 million. I don't care what anyone says. Yeah, that was one of
signing of the season.
Best purchases, right? You see at Chelsea, it's normally Jorginho. Okay. You see at Man City, it was Fernandinho. Okay.
Yeah.
One guy. We played 2 because they're not good enough to play on their own. And when we're talking about leaderships and stuff, do you remember the days when Roy Keane would say to Giggsy Becks, keep going forward, because he was confident he could have held it on his own. And even those days, it was box to box. But we don't have that leader. And when I say leader, I'm not saying someone who's going to wear the captain badge. I mean, someone's going to say, Pogba, Bruno, go forward. Don't worry. I've got this. I'm here.
Does anybody?
Yeah, but Bobz, I'm going to say, Bobz, right, before I speak, Matt, thanks for bringing me on, mate. I really appreciate it. Lads, hope you're all well. Bobz, I completely agree. I feel like when you have a DM, obviously you look at the space of all the other teams in the Prem, they all have a confirmed one in that single spot, not just 2. It has to be 1. And the thing is, you're not going to get the best out of players like Fred if they're playing in that position. Like I said to Indiana before, it's not going to work. He's not a DM. You've seen him how he works on the left or the right. That's his position. He's not a DM.
Agreed.
And he's not good enough as a DM. Yes, he does put in the work, but sometimes it doesn't come off. It doesn't come off. But the thing is, one second, bro. Before, as we saw, when he played RCM, he was dominating the game in midfield. Facts. He should never be playing in the DM position ever again. Yesterday, he was playing in that position with Matic. It looked like that. It looked like he wasn't. But I looked at the other team. I looked at the I looked at the actual confirmed lineup on the app. He was actually next to Matic. He wasn't next to McTominay. McTominay was playing above him. Disgraceful doing that. What's McTominay going to do that Fred can't? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, Fred's way better than McTominay. And there's no way he should be playing in that DM position. That's when the hate starts. When he's in the LCM position or the RCM position, you see the full-fledged Fred that we bought for 50 million. Facts.
Do you know what you're saying, yeah? Do you know what you're saying? Yeah, Matt, let me ask you this question, right? There's 5 of us here, yeah? And me and Ad say to you, right, Gaffer, I play in the 10 role, right? Cass is saying he plays right wing, and then Indiana's saying he plays left wing, right? And you know, everyone in the world knows where we play. You know where we play. Then you go put me on the left wing, put Ads on the right wing, and you play these two in the holding position. It's like Ollie, and I'm gonna put this on Ollie a little bit because it's like you know where these players play and where they can dominate and play and excel. Why are you putting them in different positions that they're not comfortable with? And you know, I'm hearing Carrick's trying to teach Fred. No. Put some respect on Fred's name. Fred is a baller in his own position, whether it be left centre mid, right centre mid. Don't ask him to do a job that for his whole career he's never done that. You know? And so I ask you, Matt, like, what's your thoughts on it? Because like, this is what I'm saying to you. It's a 5-a-side team right now. Do you know what I'm trying to say to you, right? And if we're telling you, oh, play here, then you're putting me in some position. Automatically, I'm probably not going to play well because I'm not used to standing on the wing, receiving the ball.
Is that our problem, Bobby? Is that our? But really, all us fans, we do the same thing again and again. Is that really our problem? We played West Brom. Is that
Cass, I think the thing is, Cass, it's happening. Sorry, Indiana. It's brother. Listen, I'm telling you right now. Literally, what Bobz has just said is happening. Like after 2 shifts, and then he'll put him back in the DM position. He'll play 2. He'll play 2 games in the
because
LCM.
he's only good in the press.
Okay, I hear
Watch his whole game. But
let me ask you guys
only good in the
Cass,
press.
I know what you're gonna say. But
let me ask you guys a question.
Let Pundit reply there. Yeah.
They're not scoring enough goals. I did the same thing on Full-Time Devils. I came out of Old Trafford. We had just lost 2-0 to Cardiff. Last game of the season. You could all go and watch it. Yeah. Last game of the season, I've come out. And all I'm hearing is defense. And I was bubbling. How I've got in front of that camera, I don't know. I just went and stood there and I ended up getting in front of the camera. And I thought my blood was boiling because I thought to myself, we keep blaming Smalling Jones. But we scored no goals. We scored, and I remember in that little period, we scored 1 against Chelsea, 1 against Huddersfield, 0 against Man City, and now 0 against Cardiff, but we was going Smalling Jones. Well, guess what? Smalling and Jones don't play no more. We're still blaming them. We used to blame people like Schweinsteiger, Schneiderlin, this one, that one. No. The problem here is, and most people will disagree with me, and I've actually got to the point where I don't care. The main problem is you've got no right wing, no at all. And yesterday playing, Wan-Bissaka, I love him. I won't hear no criticism about him. But going forward, we know he's not the best right back in the world. But there's not many getting past him. So I will sacrifice you going forward. I will sacrifice your going forward capabilities for you being that good a defender. Because there's no one up against him where I think, oh shit. If he's one-on-one someone, you're going to have to do really well to get past
But that's where the balance comes in. You need the opposite side.
So now what you've got is, you've got Mata drifting all over the place. Yeah?
He shouldn't be there.
Mata's done. I don't care. Mata's done. You can play him against Luton.
Real talk.
Carling Cup of that. Mata's done. So you've got no right wing now. None at all. And that's where I feel sorry for Wan-Bissaka, because he got 4 assists in the Premier League. Do you know that was the highest for a right back in like 7 years?
Yeah.
United. He got 4 assists. We don't get enough players in the box though. So when he's whipping it in, you've got Martial, who sometimes wants to jump, sometimes doesn't want to jump, and 3 centre-backs.
Cass, that's the problem though, brother. Because the thing is... Sorry, go on, sorry.
Let me just finish. Then you've got teams sitting back. Rashford, as much as I love him, is going to blow hot and cold because he's still learning. And I watched it with... Why does Jack Grealish, who I think is one of the best players in the Premier League at the moment, for everything he's doing, why is it Jack Grealish, when they're playing against a smaller team, he doesn't look as good, but if they're playing against a big team, you give him time and space, it's because he's always doubled or tripled up on. So it's hard. And that's the same with Rashford. Every time he gets the ball out wide, he's doubled or tripled up on. So what is he really going to do? He's got to beat 3 men, and by the time he gets into the box, there's no one to pass it to because everyone's hanging back. Martial too disinterested. We've said it about it, and I love Martial, but I just want to see that. I want to see that anger. That like even Tevez. He might not have been the great striker for goals. He wasn't going to get you 30 goals, but he will bully his way through the defense sometimes. And then for me, this is where I get the most criticism at the moment. Loads and loads. Bruno Fernandes, for all his stats, his passing and his ball retention is one of the worst I've ever seen in the Premier League. If you go over the last 10 years, the guy can't keep the ball. And yesterday, he played one good ball, was over the top to Mata. If you can't play that good ball for 50, 60 million and you're meant to be a catalyst, then you shouldn't be playing at Man United. His free kick he tried taking early, went straight to the goalkeeper, was like a back pass.
Yeah.
So many wild passes. He done it against Istanbul. He had a 62% pass accuracy. Istanbul! 62% pass accuracy.
I agree.
He loses possession more than 20 times every game. Against Istanbul, it's 34 times. This is your guy who everyone looks to. And Statman Dave is the best one because he loves him off. Because he knows that's getting him more and more fans at the moment. Because our fans are fickle. They love Bruno because any fan they'll argue against, they'll go, but he's got 20 goals and 20 assists in 20 games. It's all about arguing with people now. And Bruno's the best person because he gets goals and assists.
Cass.
Why?
Because Matta's going to pass the ball to him. Rashford's going to pass the ball to him. The defenders are going to pass the ball to him. We know Matic and Fred ain't good enough in opening everything up. Not that I don't like Fred. I do like Fred, but they're not good enough. So they're going to pass the ball to him. Tommy's going to pass the ball to him. Everyone who's going to play is going to pass the ball to him. Why? Because they look up to him. Why? Because those players, a lot of them are young, and a lot of them have been so shit in their career that he's like, oh my, he is the catalyst for us. No, he's not. He's not. He needs to have better ball retention. If he was under Pep Guardiola, he'd be a sensational player.
Gosh, bro, I'm loving the energy, bro.
That's same, man. I rate this brother, man.
Needed a bit of.
You needed that, Cass. I swear to God, bro.
There are things that I completely agree with, and I can't help but disagree with because the balance is just so wrong. Like, do you know how far away we are? Like, seriously, think about our first 11 and then look at the other top 6 sides. How many of our players get in those sides?
Yeah,
Only a few. Only a few.
If we do that, that's not.
If we do that, then
that's complete. No. That's completely fair. That's completely fair because what I'm saying.
I'll tell you why. Because currently, when I watch that game, I'll tell you why I say it's not fair to do. Because currently, when I watched that game yesterday, there's not one City player that gets into the Liverpool team.
True.
Facts.
So that's not fair to do. I
think it is when you're talking about playing one DM. I think people forget the first part of the game, the first, I think it was 25, 30 minutes, they actually pressed us a lot. And we struggled in the midfield.
They pressed us a lot, and I'll tell you why.
We struggled in the midfield with 2.
I'll tell you why. I want to Cass, like you said, right? Whenever anyone tries digging the ball into the box, right? There's not enough people in there. And the only people that are going in there are the DMs. And that's why they don't get the ball back when they're running back on the counter. That's why they don't get it, because they're in the box or they're right outside of it. That's why I always see McTominay way far ahead of his position. And then obviously you have fucking 5'7" Fred, who is only fast. And he has strength. He has more, in my opinion, I think he imposes himself as a stronger and fit player compared to Scott McTominay. Why the fuck is Scott McTominay running above him when, in my opinion, Fred's more of an attacking player than McTominay? Facts.
It is the most player, yeah.
Because his instincts, they all want... People forget this. Scott McTominay is an attacking midfielder. That's his instinct to go forward. You're trying to play these players in defensive roles.
Yep.
I don't see what the issue is here. People need to stop rating these players in this position because that's not their position.
Oh, 100%. They need to, but then
I agree.
That's when you need to look at Ollie and you can say Ollie in, Ollie out here, but this is what I say to you guys. Okay, you can have all these players, but you need to find a system and a tactic where to be the most effective. Now, if you want to look, Cass touched it yet, but Bruno. We are buying players, or we have players that aren't good at retaining possession. Okay, 100%. That's why we play counter-attacking football, because we can't keep possession. So this is what I don't understand: why you get Cavani, because Cavani needs service. We need to distribute. Okay?
I'll tell you why we got Cavani. I can tell you right now, because Martial isn't sharp. He's completely off it. The first thing Ollie should do is drop Martial, play Cavani, and then bring Martial on second half or 60 minutes and keep him sharp.
That's fine, bro.
That's fine. But you're not
as a starter.
You're not tackling the main problem.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say.
If you think solely 33, 34-year-old Cavani, who's behind Choupo-Moting at PSG, is going to carry Manchester United when we can't, the issue here for me is...
I never said that.
No, I know you didn't. I'm just saying. If you think that's the only problem, because the issue here for me is we go 1-0 up against West Brom now. All we should do now is just keep ball until they give us the gaps. They have to come at us. We can't.
Thank you.
We can't string the ball together. Against Brighton, we are 2-1 ahead. And this is where I feel sorry for our defence. Our defence gets to blame all the time. In that last, from the 85th minute till they scored, which was about 9 minutes, Brighton battered us. Not our defence. They battered us as a team.
Cass, I have to disagree with that, bro. Lindelof was poor when that goal went in.
But Brighton did batter us, though.
It was his fault.
But no, I hear what you're saying, but if 20 crosses have come in, Lindelof's going to get beat once.
Exactly.
He's going to get beat once. Where if 3 crosses might come in, might not get beat because you've seen it. Listen, we took Lindelof out, we brought Bailly in. We've conceded 6 the first time in how many years? Took Bailly back out, Lindelof's back in. We kept we only conceded a goal to PSG because Martial scored an own goal, which was a free. Nothing to do on the defence. Then we conceded none to Chelsea. Werner might as well not have played. He might have sat in the stands and just watched.
Trust me.
We conceded none to Leipzig. We only conceded to Arsenal because Pogba fouled them. So, for me, Brighton kept the ball and battered us and eventually got a goal. Because when we go ahead against Spurs, we went ahead. Before I blip 1 minute in, all you have to do now is keep this ball.
We don't have players to do that. That's what I'm saying. We don't have players to do that.
That's player decisions. That's player decisions.
It's player decisions, and the thing is, there's a good amount of partnerships in our fucking team that we set out, but they are not in the linked positions. You never play. Listen, in my opinion, I would never, ever, ever, ever play 3 attackers in a formation ever again for us, because we've seen how shit it is, and we've seen how invisible the wingers are. Greenwood, his last few games when he's actually played, has been awful. Rashford, he's been all right. He's actually been good this season, but he's someone, like you said, Cass, he's hot and cold, bro. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, sometimes he'll have a good game, he'll show sparks of hope.
Is that not that age, though?
It's the age, but it's the positioning as well. Because the thing is, I'll be looking at it, there's no way in hell Ollie was set to make them out like 3 linked up in the line. He wanted the wingers to be spaced out even further, literally, so their feet were literally touching the outside line.
Can we go?
Sorry, that's the issue for me as well. As much as I hate Liverpool, because I really do, I hate them passionately.
I'm with you on that, bro.
Listen, I was celebrating the day we lost 6-1 to Spurs because they lost 7-2. I actually went home and I felt good. I watched Match of the Day feeling good. That's how much I hate Liverpool. But the issue for me is
when they got beat 7-2, I was like,
Klopp's football though. Klopp's football makes them better. And the reason why I say that is, watch it. When that ball goes out to Robertson or Trent, Mane and Salah are in the box. They're not holding. But when the ball goes out to Shaw or Wan-Bissaka, Greenwood's holding Wan-Bissaka's hand because he's back 2 yards from him, and Rashford's holding Shaw's hand. That's not instinct to do that. They've been told to do that. So
I'll tell you this now.
Be in the box.
Cass,
I'll tell
you this now, right? Cass, I'll tell you this now. I just want to give everyone my view on the game, like a short little recap, right? I'll say this right now.
Before you do, I've got a dip, but the one thing I will say about the strikers is we don't have a lone 9 either. All of them, I'd like to see them.
Free Gallo, man. Free Gallo.
That's got to happen for me. But listen, boys, thanks for having me on. I've got a dip.
Same Indiana, man. Take care, yeah.
Take care, bro.
Shout out all your social medias, mate. Let everyone know where they can find you.
Yeah, so you can find me on the First 11 on YouTube and new channel. We've got some things going on, some interviews with a few YouTubers and coaches and things like that. Just doing something a bit different. Friday Night Fraud Watch, call out fraud in football is a bit of an entertaining thing. Bobz loves it.
Oh.
Hopefully you'll be a
that's
regular on
amazing.
there. Yeah, and I'm on Twitter, first11_TV. But again, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Have a good day, man.
Yeah, Andrew. Take it easy, boys.
See you later.
So, guys, I wanted to go into. We were talking about conceding goals, and there's been a lot of talk about David De Gea's performances recently. I wanted to touch into this and see what you thought about him now, and the fact that we got Dean Henderson waiting in the wings. Like, yeah, start with you, Bitz N Bobz. What are you thinking, mate, about De Gea so far recently?
I think. Do you know what? Yeah, it just shows what happens when you have competition, doesn't it? You know, someone breathing down your neck, literally. Because Dean Henderson is here to stay, isn't he? You know, he's not here to crack a joke. He's not Romero that's going to accept the cup games and stuff. He's actually here wanting to play. He's very confident. And the main problem for David De Gea is that Dean Henderson is English. So that already attracts media attention. De Gea obviously has had an eventful few seasons, you know, we've had. But I mean, you know, when I think of De Gea, right, I think Van der Sar, I think Schmeichel, and I think of the defences they had, the two centre halves they had. You know, Van der Sar had Vida, Rio, Schmeichel had Bruce, Pallister, and so on. And you think you try and think of De Gea did have Rio and Vida in the last stages, but when you think about De Gea, he's not really had the best protection, you know. And unfortunately, the managers list goes on and on. But I think this season he showed some competence. Yes. You know, he's done some good saves, albeit because we're used to him being at a certain level, I expect him to save it, you know, and that's no disrespect to him. It's just I know how quality he is. So, but then, you know, when you dissect football and if you watch football, none of the stat padding stuff, if you see how we leave him so vulnerable at times, you know, we don't protect him, you know, and I feel he's been unfortunate at that. But this season, I think he's done well. He's done what he had to do because obviously at the end of the day, human nature, someone comes in that plays in your position, you need to up the levels. So for me, he's done okay so far. Nothing for me to be like, he's back. Let's not get carried away, you know. But I think that he's doing okay so far. And the save he made yesterday with his left foot, that was De Gea-esque, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, makes himself big and gets his foot down. And for me, I was just like, all right, okay, I see you, bro. I see you. Nice one, nice one. But then you have to look at where the hell the defending was, because it's like, protect my guy. Do you know, like...
I'm going to stay quiet. I'm going to stay quiet because I like Bobby. I don't want to argue. I want to do a few more videos before we start arguing. So
bro, listen. Do you know why I love this thing? This football fan channel, YouTube. And Matt, I'll just say, like and subscribe, guys. Seriously, back the guy. Bro, do you know why I love it? It's because it's no beef, bro. We both support the same thing. We want the same conclusion, brother. Do you understand? And for me,
I'll say my piece then.
Yeah, because you can say something and then I'll think, yeah. Do you know what I'm trying to say to you? So, yeah, man. But yeah, that's my answer.
I used to argue that because we had this focus on defence, I used to argue that Hey is the best in the world. I used to argue that. Then as we started buying more defenders, and I started to realise, hold up, we're still blaming the defence, but you had 2 shots on target today, and they both went in. And I started to look at other aspects where I done that video, the video that got like nearly 250k views on Twitter.
I need to follow you on Twitter, bro. Bloody hell.
It was about Pogba. It was about Pogba and De Gea. And De Gea doesn't come out and catch the ball ever. Do you know how many times I remember a cross coming in, could be a corner, anything, and Van der Sar would come out and grab it and fall to the floor, and I'd see Rian Vidic tap him like, thank you. Because if 10 crosses come in, Rian Vidic is going to get beat as well. I can show you a video of Darren Bent beats both of them. Like, one's got his
I
head
remember
down.
that, Don. I remember Darren Bent.
What's that? What's that?
I remember Darren Bent. Darren Bent used to be a legend, man.
I remember him beating both of them to one ball that wasn't even a great ball. And then stuck it past Van der Sar. But Van der Sar was a great goalkeeper. There wasn't much he could do with that finish. But so every defence gets beat. If they didn't, there would be one team out there that never loses.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, every goalkeeper has to. It's their job. If I look at goalkeepers, every goalkeeper pulls off saves. Look at Sam Johnson. He was never ever going to play for Man United. He pulled off some great saves yesterday.
Was it great saves or bad finishing?
No, it was great saves, man. Great saves.
6 yards out, bro. You should score. Anyone should score from 6 yards out.
But be positive.
I am being positive.
He's come out a little bit more. He comes off his line a little bit more now, but he doesn't command his box and all that. And when I look at it, do you know, people don't realise how important a goalkeeper is, but look at Chelsea. Can't defend save their lives. They've still got the same shit defenders. Mendy's coming. He's kept 5 clean sheets already.
Mendy's a fucking beast, man.
It's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. Shit defence has now kept 5 clean sheets. That's because this goalkeeper is that commanding. He's that commanding. And I just don't feel. I don't feel De Gea's that guy. And I'm sorry. For me, when I started doing this, I'm exposing you if I think there's flaws in your game. I know there's flaws in Rashford's game.
Yeah.
But for me, anyone other than Messi, Ronaldo, anyone at 23 playing in that team wouldn't be doing no better than what Rashford's doing. Most of these guys at 23 weren't even known. I can go through the whole list.
Different perspective.
Yeah, can I say something though, Kaz? I know you said about commanding, and obviously I'm a big fan of Mendy. I like him because obviously I'm a regular on Monsters channel. As the lads here know already, I usually host alone with Vladimir Prime on the channel.
Double ads from Chelsea thing.
But obviously I'm a regular on that, and obviously I was on the panel yesterday and I was watching the game. Very entertaining game. I feel like I'm more gassed watching a Chelsea game than I am United recently, and that's standard because I have low expectations for us. I don't think that's controversial to say. We have low standards right now, and they need to be picked up. You know what I'm trying to say, brother? Because
I definitely thought it was going to be a crap game before it even started, and that's really crap coming from a Man United fan. Do you know what I mean? I used to be like bubbling, going, yes, even against the lower teams. You know, like when we played Nottingham Forest or Charlton, I was like, yeah, I can't wait. Like this is going to
slap them, bro. Because we slapped them. That's the thing. And Cass, I know you were saying about Mendy, because I know he's a good keeper, but the thing is, it's not like all his defenders are bad. Christensen's dead. Zuma he's sick and he's proven his worth. I said to the lads yesterday, I said, without Thiago Silva next to him, he's had the time to actually learn off of him and actually take on a solo performance. That guy dominated the back line with Rudiger yesterday. And the thing is, I like Rudiger. The thing is, with Rudiger, he can't stay fit. And it's like Bailey, but except it's a little bit better because he can actually stay fit for about 7 games straight and then obviously fuck up one and then get injured. But the thing is, Chelsea's squad right now is immense. They're playing well. They're getting at least 2 goals a game. There's at least 3 goals set in every single game. So if the predictions are set high, you should predict 2-1, 2-0, 3-0. You know what I'm trying to say, bro? Yeah, go on.
Do you think that's because their squad's immense, or is it because one thing about Lampard, because of the position he played in as well?
Speak on it, Cass.
Is it because he plays keep balls? When I watch Chelsea a few times now, I can tell you one thing. They're pinning the team back and they're creating chances. And as much as I love Ole, this job is too big for him. It's too big for him. I don't care what anyone says.
Top choice striker, Ole was. That's all I'm going to say.
People could call me a flip-flop now because I stuck up on it so much and all that. But the job is too big for him. And the reason why I say that is we don't keep ball. He doesn't know, after all the time, he doesn't know his starting 11. There is no team in the world that should play a diamond formation. I don't care, because you're relying on 2 fullbacks who are defenders. I don't care how good they are to be your sole source of creativity.
And width, yeah.
No, and width. He's done that because he wants to try to play Bruno and Pogba and this one and that one. No. You have to pick your formation and you got to stick with that, because at the end of the day, as much as you're saying that Fred isn't a DM, he could become one, because Fernandinho wasn't an out-and-out DM, but he eventually became one. Because Fred can tackle. He has got the work rate. He has got the strength. Because Brazilians, they're born with this natural balance and strength in their whole body, where it's going to be very hard to push off the ball. And where I think Ole's going wrong as well is play Fred there. If that don't work, no disrespect to Fred, move him, try someone else. When that buzz don't work, move him, try someone else. Okay, them 3 didn't work. What do we need in the summer? A DM.
Cass, you know what I'd say though, Cass? I agree with your comment, but when one thing I'm going to change up, because I don't know, because I know what you're trying to say. Because I know, right, if Fred doesn't work in that position, you know what I would do? I would never take him off the field. He's someone that needs to start, right? He's United quality, and he's proven it this season as well as last season. Facts. Everyone knows this now, and if they don't know it, they don't watch the team. If he's not good enough as a DM, you keep him on the field. There's no way you're taking Fred off and keeping some waste man like Matic on the field.
You didn't get my point, bro. You didn't get my point with that. That was no criticism to Fred.
Oh, yeah.
I know. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. I know.
No, I just meant take him out of the DM position.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that most fans would do. Most fans would do that.
I disagree with the Fred thing as much because when the Fred first came out, I loved him. And the only reason why I disagree with the Fred thing is he can't shoot to save his life. He's had 600 shots just at the edge of the box, and they're all going to the stands. For me, does Fred, as much as like I said, I really like him. I really do. He could be our DM at the moment now. Does Fred, at the moment, whether we find someone else, does Fred have that killer ball in him? I'm talking about not pass out to the wing, a nice pass. I'm talking about that killer through ball because he tried to play it to Martial yesterday, and the ball was behind Martial. Martial went for the run.
He done it against Leipzig for one of Rashford's goal, but I know what you're saying. Does he have that? Because what you're trying to say here, if we buy a DM, okay, and a proper system, does Fred start? I don't think so.
Is Fred a better ball retainer, passer, getting into the box and finishing than VDB? No, he's not.
No one is. I don't think anyone is.
Okay.
So that's what you're saying, though, isn't it, Cass? That's what you're saying, though.
A world-class DM sitting there now. A world-class DM sitting there. And you put VDB with him. It's
Bro.
Be there as well.
Come
on.
on.
Cass.
I understand you like him. But the issue for me is, the biggest issue, and it's not just, this isn't just Fred now. The biggest issue for me is McTominay a world-class ball retainer passer?
No, he isn't.
Academy graduate at best, bro.
Is Matic, at his age now as well, a world-class ball retainer and passer? No. Is Fred a world-class ball retainer and passer?
No.
Is Bruno a world-class ball retainer and passer?
This is what I said earlier. We've got
Even
midfield
Pogba,
that retain position.
guys, I don't know how you feel. I'm done with Pogba. I'm done. I can't watch Pogba anymore putting these shit performances because he's got so much talent. He should be the best midfielder in the world. But I can't chase that anymore with you, bro. I'm not chasing that anymore. I'm done with chasing that.
Cass,
It's Pogba.
Cass, I've got so many topics me and you are going to enjoy, bro.
It's Pogba, the way Pogba's been playing, even for France, is Pogba currently, way he's playing, is he a world-class ball retainer and passer? At the moment, the way he's playing, no, because he keeps giving it away. So, Manchester United can't keep the ball. This is why Manchester United, if you watch us play, every time we get the ball, it has to be 2 passes and we're in on goal.
Yeah.
That's all we want to do.
Can I just say something before I forget?
It's not only under Ole. Sorry, bro, I'll give me one last second and I'll go to you.
Yeah.
It's not only under Ole. That was under Mourinho as well. 2 passes, bang, you want to be in. And that's why we kept giving possession. I see Brighton have more possession than us. Burnley have more possession than us. Palace have. All these shitty little teams have more possession than us, even at Old Trafford. Why? Because it was 2 passes getting behind. 2 passes getting behind. No. And that's why we still now can't break down small teams. Problem isn't McTominay. Problem isn't Fred. Problem isn't Lindelof or Maguire or Williams, Shaw, Tellez, AWB. Problem is we can't keep the ball and we have no system of play where we're going to pin a team back so much.
No structure.
There's no structure at all. Rashford will get it out on the left. Only Martial's in the box. Rashford's looking up. He's got 2 players in front of him. And there's 3 defenders in the box of Martial. What's he going to try to do? He's going to try to do a piece of skill to beat these 2 defenders. Most of the time,
individual brilliance. And like for the stat padders and the youngsters and the FIFA players, yeah, what Cass is trying to say. You know when you play FIFA and you press that button for another man to make a run, yeah? Or you do the arrow thing and you flood the box for players going forward. That's what we lack and we're missing. Just in case you didn't understand what Cass is trying to say here.
Have you noticed every time a lot of goals Liverpool score now in games where they might know not to break them down and say, it'll be a cross that's come in, it'll ricochet and all that, and it'll fall someone and they'll score. And we're like, it's so lucky. That's
They're not.
We used to do that though. Do you know why? Because we had 8 men in the box. Someone in, it's gonna fall to someone eventually because we had them pinned so. Sometimes we had a team pinned back so bad, we battered them, and eventually the goal would be so shit. It's gone past 8 players, bounce off someone, Van Nistelrooy back post, little header.
Exactly.
It was a shitty little goal, but why?
Exactly.
We battered them. We had so many players in the box. Eventually, one of these crosses would fall to one of our players. Nowadays, we're battering a team, and the one sole player that's in the box is Martial.
And listen, yeah, you know when players see that though, right, guys? When players see that, players like, well, look at West Brom. West Brom defenders are like, bro, you ain't touching us. Let's go play. We can get at these people. And they had Grady, that Pereira. Did you notice Pereira kept kicking our midfielders? Did you notice that? He was breaking up the play. He was like, don't let them pass. Don't let them create. We need someone like that. They were like, nah, Man United ain't nothing. Bro, that's disrespect. You're coming to Old Trafford and you're trying to do 2-2 passes. Bro, they hit the crossbar and they should have had the penalty. Don't know what Mutai kick flipping Bruno was doing, yeah? But that's a penalty, rude boy. You understand? But Cash, trust me, everything you said, as what you said, I agree, because do you know what, yeah? The fans and ads, this is where I say you're very mature for your age, because obviously you're young. People will see we've won 1-0 and be like, we move. Yeah. And that's cool, okay? However, there's a manner of it. Yeah. You understand what I'm trying to say? The way you win, when Man United beat a team 1-0, the opposition's goalkeeper should be man of the match. Do you get what I'm trying to say to you?
100%.
And the frustrating thing is that, like, you know, and when people watch this back, okay, please like and subscribe. What I'm trying to say to you is that we're not here bashing anyone. What we're saying is that as a Manchester United fan, we've been used to a certain level of playing, certain level of competence. We're always competitive. And the one thing we always knew, we're always going to attack. Yes, football has changed, but you go over to those idiots and pricks at Merseyside that wear red, okay? Doesn't matter who comes on and off, they all know their job. Do you know what I'm trying to say to you? They all know their job. So when you incorporate a system and a structure that the players understand, Luke Shaw does do the overlap against Bruno. Fred does go forward, but we flood. However, there's a structure about it. You know, we don't concede stupid goals against the Tingo Skirrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrr called structure. And this is why I at Ollie, because look, guys, if I'm teaching you man Spanish, yeah, right, you're going to pronounce it wrong. I'm correcting you because this is how you should be doing it. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I heard
Ollie should be saying, Pogba, Bruno, stop doing this stupid foolishness. Keep the ball. Football, yeah, you play possession in football. Listen, when you play football, it's possession. Keep ball. Remember when you're younger, 3 touch to keep the ball moving. 2 touch to keep the ball moving. Wagwan for our midfielders, bro. Wagwan for our players.
Bobz, the thing is, right, I'm going to do this right now. I've ranked my midfielders. I've ranked our midfielders. Everyone who I've told has agreed, all right? You guys might disagree, like highly disagree, but I don't care. Thing is, I've seen it visually and the stats say otherwise. Bobz, Matt, Bobz
I like the part, I don't care, because you're adamant in what you like. I like that because that's the way I am.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I love that. I
Say it with your
rate
chest.
that a lot. I rate that a lot.
I appreciate that, bro.
Do you fancy playing DM for Man United, mate? We need a bit of that.
That stands for direct message.
Oh, good. But right, so obviously I ranked the midfielders. Obviously, Bobz and Matt obviously know I'm not a stat man. I don't look at stats. I visually see it and then actually give my opinion on it. I turn to stats when my point isn't actually coming across as clear, when I know it's a fact. So obviously, this isn't just on current form, because if it was on current form, I know Bruno and Fred would be at the top right now, but they're not right now as like overall players, because they're not. That's just not who they are. So at the top, talent-wise, Pogba's at the top.
Obviously.
Number 2 is Fred and Bruno, and I'll tell you why. They play in 2 different departments. Fred does as much as Bruno can, and the thing is, Fred goes forward when he's not meant to. He breaks the rules when he's not meant to, and it gives us goals and assists. He might not get the assists, but the RBL game, the Everton game, the Chelsea game, every single game he's played this season has shown that he's going to participate in that, like 2 or 3 attacks a game. He's going to participate in 2 or 3 attacks a game, even if they don't come off. Like the Chelsea game's a prime example. He was immense that game, and I don't even care what people think anymore, because the thing is, I know that one day one day he'll be top class. He won't be world class because I'm not that guy. I'm not going to just say he'll be world class. He's going to be top class one day because top class. There's a difference between there's a difference between top class and world class. World class are people who like tend to retain a game and tend to play most games and actually be the best in their division and position, right? Top class for me is someone who comes on the field, either starts or comes on as a substitute, realistically controls the position that they're in and actually thrives the team to go forward, drop back or anything like that. You know what I'm trying to say?
Do we have any midfielders that can do that?
No, we don't. We don't. But
that will boss a game from minute 1 to minute 90. Do we realistically? I don't care about stats and who you really love, and I don't think it's about just you. Anyone who's watching this, I don't care about stats. I don't care about 121
on the eye, boy, on the
assists and all that. Do we have anyone that from minute 1 to minute 90, plus a little added minutes on, will they boss a game like Paul Scholes?
No. I'll tell you why, Cass. I'll tell you why. For me, the only reason why that will never happen is because, in my opinion, Paul Scholes is one of the most unique players that's ever played in the world.
Okay, but do we even have anyone that can boss a whole game from minute 1 to minute 90, the whole game?
We do, but unfortunately...
We do, but they're not consistent. They're not consistent.
Go on. Quickly.
I'd say this right now, right? I'm not an over the top. I'm not an over the top fan. And the thing is, this is controversial. But the thing is, if you play Bruno for a set amount of minutes, he will not play to his full-fledged potential. You play Fred for a few games straight, you'll see the spark of that. You know what I'm trying to say? You'll see sparks, but like I said, sparks aren't good enough, bro. You know what I'm trying to say? Like for a prime example is Saint-Maximin. He's a great player, but he only shows sparks of hope at Newcastle, and then he drops down like a fucking mountain, bro. You know what I'm trying to say? So it don't matter. Like, sparks of hope are not going to get you anywhere. You need to be doing it consistently. And the only reason why Fred is not consistent is because he does not get the full-fledged game time that he deserves. What I'm trying to say to you is, do we have anyone? Because midfield, regardless of what anyone thinks, midfield is the most important place.
Where games are won, bro.
There's a reason why every big team that's won, the player that will get the accolades mainly
midfielder,
from the media that will get the accolades are the person who's scoring goals, like your Ronaldo's, your Messi, and all that.
Yeah.
But if you sat down in a room with all these people and said, who was the player that made this tick? They would say, Xavi, Scholes, Iniesta, players like that, Modric.
Bro, do you know what? I hate to say it.
Made it tick.
Jordan Henderson.
What's that?
I said, listen, do you know what? Jordan Henderson, yeah? Listen, I don't like him as a player, but see what he does, like vocally, verbally. He's industrial, okay?
Bobby, do you know I hated him when I done a thing with these Liverpool fans? What are they called? Coppish. I don't know if you've heard of them. I done a thing with them on that Terry's channel, and they were talking about Jordan Henderson better than Pogba. He's not better than Pogba.
No, he's not better than Pogba. No.
He's not better than Pogba.
No.
You know, the more I've been watching Liverpool, because I'm looking at our midfield, I'm looking at other teams' midfield. I've identified that midfield is one of our biggest problems.
Yeah.
If you look at yesterday, Martial had one chance and Rashford had one chance. Rashford's chance, Bruno's actually played the ball behind him. The defender tackles over the ball and Rashford has to reach for it and then just hit it. He should probably score from there, but it's a good save. It's point blank. He just hit it, yeah? So it's not as if Martial missed 4 or 5 big opportunities.
No.
Rashford missed 4 or 5 big opportunities. And I was actually comparing Martial and Gabriel Jesus yesterday. And statistically, they've got the same goals, the same assists. Jesus has played 1 more game. He's played 95 games. Martial's played 94. Martial's missed 22 big chances in that time. Jesus has missed 56 big chances.
Jesus is a trash player, in my opinion.
It shows you that those strikers get so many more chances, but people will forget because they win the game and he scored the goal. But he had 5 chances. So, but the point for me is midfield is our most important place, and we don't have any of those players. We don't even have a Michael Carrick. And for people that don't realise how good Michael Carrick was, we were shit for 3 years. We got rid of Van Nistelrooy, our top goal scorer, brought Michael Carrick in, and went on to win. As soon as he came in, we won 3 Premier Leagues on the trot, and a Champions League. Why? Because Michael Carrick knew where to be on the pitch. He wasn't the fastest. He wasn't the dirtiest. He wasn't a Roy Keane. He was very, very different. But he knew where to be on the pitch. He knew how to read the game. And he knew how to retain ball. And because he could retain ball, the ball would just get pinged around. I remember when Berbatov first came in, and do you remember Michael Carrick played that ball to Berbatov?
Yeah.
When he was on scores. It was one of Berbatov's first games. And that's all because we used to wait, bring the team out of their trenches a little bit by just pinging the ball around.
Keeping balls.
Hurt you. And if you didn't come out of your trenches, best believe we would have 5-6 guys in the box when the balls are getting whipped in. And you would have Paul Scholes standing there right at the edge of that box. And that ball drops, you best believe it's going in the top corner somewhere. And that's the issue with me. People think I just hate Bruno. No. Reason why I'm against Bruno a bit is because he should be doing so much better. I don't care about the goals and assists. I'm not bothered about that. I'm not interested in the just goals and assists. Because if it was just goals and assists, the way I look at it is like this. He's a better player than Pereira and Lingard, yes. But has anything changed since, not for goals and assists, but has anything changed since you took Lingard out of that position and put Bruno there?
No,
in our performances and our results, has anything changed? No. Other than Twitter have a guy they can banter everyone else with. That's all United fans care about.
Go on, Matt.
Let's just wrap it up now. We're going to shout out your social medias, but before you do that, give us your match prediction against Istanbul in midweek. So start with you, Bobby. What do you think the score's going to be?
I think. Do you know what? I think they're going to be embarrassed. So I think we're going to slap them 3-0 because it's going to be, it's going to be like we need to come back and just like show who the F they're trying to muck about with. So 3-0 I think, man.
Unofficial Pundit, what about you, mate?
Early goal, we win comfortable. Bobby said maybe even an extra goal or two. Could happen. Because when we get that early goal, sometimes we go into a bit of, and we get a second or third, we start to express ourselves a little bit and we get a little bit more comfortable now. And the young players' nerves, they settle down and they start picking the right pass and looking up a little bit more. If we don't get an early goal and this game drags on, we're in trouble.
Before I give my prediction, I just want to say I know what formation we're going to play. We're going to play the same one that we played against them last time, and that does not feature two of our best players. So I'm going to say 1-1. Fuck it. I don't care.
I'm going to say,
sorry.
I'm going to be gung-ho. I'm going to be happy about this. I think we're going to win 3-0. I'm just going to say it. Bad performance against them last time. I'm hoping we go back to what we used to be like, where we wanted to prove against teams when we felt like we really should have got results. So let's just hope that mentality is there for us. Guys, thank you so much for coming on today. It's been an amazing chat, and civil as well, to be fair, which is very because you know, plenty of channels where you hear bickering going on all the time and you're like, I can't compute what everyone's saying. So I'm glad that you guys came on today. Do you want to shout out your social medias and let everyone know where they can find you? Bitz N Bobz, start with you first, sir.
So what? It's your boy, Bitz N Bobz. Catch his phrase on Twitter right now, guys. The black man from Scotland doing his thing. Yo, catch you on Twitter at Bitz N Bobz _, Instagram Bitz N Bobz _. YouTube channel Bitz N Bobz. Content is coming out. Hopefully the 3 guys on this show is going to help me. We're going to come up with some debates and some good funny content. And guys, make sure you please subscribe and like the channel. Get the notifications also. When this man does his thing, you know when it's coming up. Matt, thank you so much for having me, man.
Thank you, mate. Go for it, Unofficial Pundit.
Okay, I did change my page to the Stretford N7, but I reckon I'll be changing that back to Unofficial Pundit. So you'll find me, but if the Stretford N7 comes up, because I'm going to go and follow you guys now, that's on Instagram and Twitter. If that comes up, that's me. And like I said, YouTube is still Unofficial Pundit. I'll be jumping back on that very soon. So please like and subscribe. And I'll definitely be having you boys on. I think there's going to be some great content this season because we know we're not going to be fantastic again. Let's be
Go on in, ads. Wrap it off. GNA.
GNA TV, new YouTube channel started quite a few days ago. Obviously, over a week ago. Hit over 250 subscribers. Alongside my boy CFCJ, make sure to go follow him as well. My link to the channel is in the bio. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at @adzils and on Twitch as well. Many new things coming to the channel, many new things coming to the base, and yeah, man, make sure to go and check out my pinned tweet. My boy Jem actually backed up the fact about his views on me, and he got quite a few views and likes, and I think you guys would like it. So Matt as well, thanks for giving me the base, man. Really appreciate it, man.
Guys, thank you so much, and we're going to end it there. Subscribe, share, like, follow us on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and guys, have a brilliant rest of your weekend, all right?
Thanks,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, root talk.
Take care.